welcome to another tutorial on how to make a trash can in Maya. So in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make these three different kinds of trash can. You can see this one is quite easy and fast to make. I call it the lazy way, but this is the proper way of doing it. You can see it looks different. It's all hardcore modeling, but that's a technique I'm going to show you so that it to be easier for you. And this is like a cheat sheet. Or this one is just a procedural texturing in Maya. It's also very simple. But when do you want to use any of this type? Well, like if you have a scene that you just looking to populate it with something, some props that doesn't really matter, that will be in a distance, you can use this way. You can just create something very quick. In less than 2 minutes you are done with this kind of approach. And for this one, if you want something, well, a little bit up close, not really the main prop, but still need to be seen, so you can use this fast and easy way to make it. But if someone paid you for a project, you really don't want to use these two ways. You want to do it in a proper way. So I suggest you use this one when you have a project that's really important, so you can use this way. So let's get into Maya. So I'll show you how to approach these three methods here. So here let's start with this one right here. Okay, so to do that, let's start with a plane. Let's make this plane something around 78. Okay, and for this, let's make it something like let's say 60 subdivision, like that. And let's rotate it to 90 degrees, like so. Now we can, let's freeze transformation here. You can see we have boxes here, but if you look at the pattern, it's like a diamond shape. So let's do that. To do that, what you need to do is you right click, go to vertex mode, and you select all your vertices here. And you want to go to edit mesh, and you choose chamfer vertices. Once you do that, you get this kind of pattern here, but we want to increase it to like 0.5. And now we need to merge it. If you don't merge it, for example, when you come here and let's say we select this one and try to, you can see we have another vertex right there. So you want to merge all of them. So to do that, you just select all the vertices and you go to edit mesh and you choose merge. Once you do that, again, you see that we have some vertices here that doesn't hold any edge, so we need to delete that. So what you need to just select it and press delete. You can see we got rid of those ones there. Now for this one, we're not done yet. Press 5 to go on shaded mode. So you want to now create the wires that forms the trash can. So what you need to do is, while this is selected, let's go to our modeling toolkit, extrude, and here you want to turn off key faces together. You just click on it, or you type 0 in there, and then we want to offset it slightly. You can see the lines are too much. We want to reduce it to 0.05. You see, now this will be the lines, the wires that form that. So we need to delete the extra edges, extra faces. So we're now left with this. So now we need to delete the edges. Go to face, click and drag. Let me try that again. No, I think we're having some issues here. Let me delete history, delete all by type history, and try that again. Yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, actually it was selecting just too far away from camera. So we do that one and deselect this and delete. We don't want that one. And do the same here. Delete. Actually this one, like so. Delete. And this one we don't need so much here. But now this is too big for our trash can. So the trash can in my office is about 32 cm tall. So let's use that as a reference. So let's make this, for example, let's first of all make it here and make the height to be around 32 cm. Okay. So what we need to do now is let's move it up and put it here. And this one. So we need to delete this part. We don't need it. Good. Okay, so let's see here. We will now make this to wrap this around to turn it as a let's now make it bend it to become the trash can. So to do that, you go to deform and non-linear deformer. You want to use bend. So now we can, to bend it, you now click on this curvature. See, when we try to bend it, it's bending the wrong way. So let's undo that. Now what we need to do is to select the rotate X and Z, Y and Z axis and rotate it 90 degrees. And now when we bend it, it's now bending properly. But when you see here, we are having a seam. So that seam, we need to close it. We can extend this one to like 180.2 or 3. I think 0.3 is fine. Now it's now closed. And then we can delete history to remove that. But again, it's still a thin surface, just a flat surface. So we can now extrude this one to give it some thickness. Go back to the modeling toolkit, extrude, and let's maybe give it 0.1. Okay, this is fine. And now we have our basket. Let me try to center it in the middle of this one. Like so. So now let's go back to this. Actually, you can, if you notice, the top and the top and the bottom part of the trash can is not always the same size. So what we need to do is we can now, let me delete this one. So let's see, once again, the one I measured in my office, the bottom part is 22 cm. So if we make this one 11, the radius 11, we can get that. And if we create another one, and the top part is 29. So let's make it 30, so we can make the radius here 15. Okay, so we can move this up like so, and this one just keep it down here, and we grab this one. We now want to deform it again, but this time we're gonna use a different deformer called I think we're gonna use, let me see, the one called lattice deformer. So this lattice deformer, let's reduce the subdivision here to 2, and now if we select this bottom part, let's go to top view, and we need to bring it quite like that, and go to the top view and grab this one and expand it just around that. So now we have our trash can, so we can delete history and get rid of that. So we can actually use this one to create that bottom part. So to do that, we can make it, I think 2 cm is fine for this. So what we need to do is select all and deselect and delete the top part, and let's put it around there. So what we need to do next is to give it some thickness. So back to the toolkit and extrude it slightly to like maybe 0.1, maybe 2, 0.2. This is fine. So we want to select this here and select this part here, and then bevel it, give it around 0.1 and some subdivision. And here also we want to give it some sharp edges, because right now if we press 3 to smooth it, you can see what we get. That's not what we want. So we want also to give it some sharp edge there, make it 0.05, and this subdivision here make it 4. And now when you smooth it, we have that, but it looks too big. So what we can do is to move it up. Okay, now it's intersecting right there. The top part is not the same, because when you look here, it's like a flare, you know, like where you put your hand, the handle here. So let's do that. This time we select all like this. Let's go back to the side view here and delete it. So we now have it open. Let me see the size. I think it's too tall. Maybe we can make this one something like 1 cm. Okay, or maybe 1.5. I think that is good. So now we click the edge. We need to extrude it that way, maybe 1, and then extrude again. This time we take it down, maybe 0.9 is fine. And now we also give it some thickness, something like 0.2. And now we can give these edges some sharpness. Bevel it and give it 2, maybe 0.3, and here subdivision 4. For these areas we don't want it because we smooth it, it gives us just perfectly what we want. So now we want to bring it down and it just matches right there. So you can see this is one quick way of doing it. So what we can do is, you see, one more thing we can do here. See, this is just straight, but we should have some angle right there. So to do that, let's go back to our deformer and back to lattice. Here we once again make it 2 and right click, go to select that and press R on your keyboard and just a slight curvature there will be fine, and then delete history and get rid of that. So let's group this and call it basket 1. Move it up a little bit and push it aside, and then the next one we're gonna do is probably, let's do this one over here. So to do that, this time we want to be as specific as possible. First of all, let's create the wires itself, and let's make it 0.1, that's the thickness, and for the height we make it around 32. And for subdivision here we can do it 85, like so. Now before we move on, I measured the space, this diamond shape here, I measured it, is about 0.6 to 7 cm. So let's try to get that as close as possible. So what we can do is we create this box here and make it something like 0.5 and rotate it. It doesn't have to be exactly, and let's rotate it to like 45 degrees, like so. Now if we go to press 4, so what we need to do here is select every other line that we have here. Okay, so first of all, let's move this somewhere around here, and now let's start to select these lines. Let me see, I think it's good like this. Okay, so let's begin to select these lines. So what you need to do, let's even do it from here. We select this one, this one, this one. I'm just gonna pause the video while I select all of them, then I'll be right back. So I have selected all the lines, okay, including the bottom one here, right here. Okay, because if it happens to be the next one, so you also need to select that. So what we need to do now is to, let's move it just to draw something like a zigzag. while it's still selected, let us bevel it. So to do that, you come here, bevel. You see we're not having enough bevel space here, so I'm going to undo that. And now, because we've already shifted this one, so I'm going to deselect this last one right here, because it's the one that is stopping my bevel to give me enough space. So let's try again. Now you see we have enough, so let's reduce it to like 0.2 and increase this one to like 4. I think we have too much curvature here, so we can reduce it to like 1, like so. And also, I think we made a mistake. We also need to include this one as well. So I'm just gonna undo that. So what I'm gonna do now is to select everything here and deselect the lines here. So I'm just gonna hold and drag to deselect that one, and yeah, like so. And again, we want to deselect this one and this top one as well. And let's try to do that again. Bevel. See, it gives us a straight line, but when we reduce this to like 0.1 and increase this to like 4, so we have our, I think this is too much. I think it should be fine. Okay, now what we need to do again is, if we smooth this one, press 3, see we got our line. But if you look at some trash can in your office, you will find out that there's a kind of flatness that is done in this part here to make it look as if where the two wires were joined or welded. Let me duplicate this and show you what I mean. So if we do this like this and go to let's freeze transform here, and here flip it to -1, so you can see it doesn't just join, so it actually flatten here so that it's as if it's joined through the side. So what we need to do is, let's delete this one, and what we can do is to come back to the side view and select this, only this part and this part here. So let's do the same here and here, like so. You want to press shift while selecting, so you don't deselect the ones you have selected before. So like that. You see, it's a little bit time consuming, but it's really worth it. So you want to select that and this one. We don't want to select that one right there. So let's come back here and try to press R and try to flatten it like so. Okay, like that. I think this is fine. This box, we don't need it again. So when you press R, you have that effect. Then what we need to do is let's duplicate this one once again, freeze transform and flip it. Let's go to top view and offset it a little bit. First of all, let's put it together and then just offset it a little bit. So I think we want to move it in a little bit more. Okay, now let's combine this. Go to mesh, combine. So it's now one object. Let's move it up here. And now I think we can delete these bottom faces here. We don't need it. And also the one on top. Just select that. So delete it. Now we need to duplicate this one. So let's freeze transformation again. And now let's see how many we need this and how the distance that we need. So what we can do is duplicate here, move it. Let me see. What I want is, you see this space here? I want the same here. Okay. So you can see it moved to the, it translates on the X, positive X, 0.784. So let's copy that and delete this one. So what we need to do is go to edit, duplicate special, and come here. Let's reset it and translate. This is XYZ. So here we need to paste that number. And how many copies do we need? Let's try 100 and apply. Then we can close this. So what we need to do now is combine this one, go back to mesh, combine, delete history, and let's move it in the middle. Okay. So what we need to do now is also bend it the way we bent this one. So to do that, go back to our, first of all, make sure you freeze transformation so we have everything zeroed out. Go back to deform, nonlinear, bend. Once again, we need to rotate Y and Z to 90, and then bend it. And again, we are having our seam right there, so we can make this one 180.2. Yes, I think it's fine like this, so we don't have that seam right there. So now we can delete history to get rid of that. So a way that I like to position stuff in the middle here is to create just any box or any object. And now we select this one, and we just go to align objects, which you can find right here. Okay, so align object, just click here and here, and now it's positioned right there. So we don't need that, just delete it. So you can see if we press 3, it's gonna ask us, because it's gonna be high res. Press yes. Just give it a minute. So you can see we have everything looking very perfect. See? So now what we need to do is, let's duplicate this one and bring it out, because we don't need to redo it again. So let's center it. Click that, put it there. Okay, good. Now we want to, I think we need to move this up. Go to the side view here. I think that is fine, and this is fine. So let's use go back to our deformer, lattice deformer. Just give it a minute to load, because now we are dealing with very heavy geometry. So once again, we have this 5 division, we only need 2. And right click on it, select vertex point, then select only this part. Let me do it from here this time. Press R, and let's see, something like that. And this one, scale it. Try about that. Let's see how it's looking here. I think we need to scale it a little bit more. Too much. Okay, good. Let's see how this one looks. I think this one is too much outside, so just push it in a little bit too much. Okay, something like this. So this one, select that one, once again this one is ready. Let's call it basket 2, and push it aside. And the last one, the easy way is very simple, just this one. Let's make this one, let's do this 78, and this top, make it 32. Add some divisions here to like 20. And this is what I want, 20. This one, it doesn't really matter, so rotate it 90 degrees here, freeze transformation like so. So let's apply some procedure textures to this one. So you go to the hyper shade, and first of all, let's create a material for it. I have my air standard here in the my favorite. Then you put this one, and let's name it basket texture, like so. And you want another texture, you go to the 2D texture, is right here. The one I use is this one called cloth. So you select that. Okay, just put it here. So the reason why I selected it is it has this kind of 3D looking effect on it. So what you need to do is, we don't want two colors, two shades. You just make it the same color, white, and this one black. So you want to rotate it. You click on this placement 2D and you rotate it like 45, and we're going to repeat this quite a bit. But before then, what you need to do is you click on this one and you reduce the thickness of these wires. So let's make it the same size, 0.1, and this one as well, 0.1. Now we need to repeat it, but before then we need the white wires to be visible and the black to be color transparent. So to do that, you want to take this out color and connect it to the opacity of this one. Once you do that, you begin to see the transparent effect. So what you need to do is take this one, let's give it a metal effect. Click on this, go to brush metal and choose that, and you take this one and you apply it. Don't worry, it's black, but it's gonna show. But then we first of all need to repeat this quite a bit. Let's say repeat it to like 50 by 50. So we have it really tight. So what you need to do now is, I think we can close this one. And then we also need to bend it like we did the other ones. So to do that, we go back to our bend deformer. I have it here. And again, rotate this to 90 and then curve it. We also need to give it some extra lapping. Let's give it something like that and delete. And let's move it up. And again, bring this to thing we have done. Move it here. Let's go to, actually we need to center this one. Click on that, like so. Now we can, let's apply our latex deformer again, reduce it to 2. So for this one, grab it, let's do it from here, like so. And this one, we increase it like that. Let's see how it's looking here. I think we need to, yeah. Okay, a bit too much. And this one as well. I think this is looking good. So delete history. And this one as well, let's give it also, let's give it the same material. Let's call this basket texture, the material, and give it the same brush metal. I think this one as well, give it the same material. So I think we are done. This one, call it basket 3. Push it aside here. Basket 2. Bring it in the middle. And this one, something like this. Let me put on my resolution gate here. And okay, I'm going to turn on the background and my light here. So let me reduce my and just have a quick render, because I want to see how this one is looking like, because for this one I already know. So let's try a quick render. So let's shoot the render and see. Sorry, I need to so you can see how the render is coming out. I think I need to, maybe it's okay like this. I think no need to increase the repeat. I think this should be fine. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pump up my render settings again and shoot, because you can see we're having some noise. So I'm gonna bump up my render settings. Let's stop this and they go back to render settings and increase this one to like 7 or 6 and put this 4 and reduce this one to 1, because we don't have anything transparent or translucent. So close. So what we need to do is go to render, update full scene, and let's see. The scene become quite heavy because of this one right here. So but that's how you want to do it. For this one, this is just quick. If you want anything just for your own project, you just want something, so you can use that. And this one is just for a fill object. Okay, so yeah, I think the render is starting. I'm just gonna pause the video and while this renders, and then I'll be right back. So my render is finished and this is how it looks. Okay, so this is how to do trash can in Maya. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so, and I'll be releasing more videos in the coming days. Thank you again for watching and see you. Bye bye.